Yuba Power Products. Greenman versus Yuba Power Products. Why UBA? Wow, that heat's come on now. Now what I'm going to ask you to do with that, you're going to look at that case, and then you're going to compare it to another case that you've read. So having an open book, you've got to understand what the case is about. Yeah, is it similar to Flowers versus Chrysler, which we'll discuss today? Cadero versus Mount Brenton, which we looked at, that was the mountain slide. Thomas versus Winchester, or Escola versus Coca-Cola. So that's what's there. There's an article in D2L on environmental product liability. The PA Supreme Court ruled that the product manufacturer can be held strictly liable for harm that occurs in connection with what? In the Donahue case, what is meant by corporate veil? V-E-I-L. As a matter of fact, the only reason I put it here is because it's on the exam. We won't discuss that today, but we will discuss that case. Warranties, especially breach of warranty, warnings that we'll talk about today, and we may run over into Tuesday's class. Let's see. On the first article in that chapter 5. Product-related accidents. Product-related accidents. What are they caused by? And the first one is product deficiencies. I'm asking you, what's the next one? So focus on that. That's kind of hard to do. I'm asking you a very specific question there. So after product deficiencies created by inadequate design, product-related accidents are more commonly caused by, and I'll give you choices there. Types of warranties. The first case in which a judge ruled that the cost of injuries caused by a product defect should be spread by the manufacturer to all the consumers. What's that case? First case where the judge said, and you might remember Judge Traynor was the one who said it. We talked about it in class.
Judge said what?
Spread the cost to all the customers. Be a question on Salvador versus Atlantic Steel Boiler. What's the primary issue in that case? Several questions on Flowers versus Chrysler. Well, it'll be up on the screen. Salvador versus Atlantic Steel Boiler.
It's on D2L.
No, it's in your reading. It's the yellow board. Then I have a case. I've got a case that deals with product-related accident. Two cases dealing with that, and some of the issues, some of the terminology you need to be aware of. failure to warn, assumption of risk, breach of warranty, defective condition, defective design, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. We will continue to use some terminology that we covered under negligence: assumption of risk, strict liability, negligence. Privity, should know about that.
With respect,
Yeah.
can you go over privity again?
Privity is simply a contractual agreement between two parties. Seller to buyer typically, but it now, case law has evolved that we're holding not just the seller responsible for injuries, but it could be the manufacturer, it could be a manufacturer of a part. So that one has really turned around 180 degrees. Okay, and third case, just dealing with warranty, assumption of risk, negligence, strict liability. And a fourth case, just Uniform Commercial Code. Intended use, unintended use, and make sure you understand that manufacturers need to protect the consumers from foreseeable unintended use. There's a myth out there about two guys who lost their fingers in trimming a hedge, where they decided the fastest way to do it would be to start a lawnmower and pick it up and just run it along the top of the hedge. And the, what do they call them? Urban legends, yes. And I marked you absent. Yeah, I hear you. See me afterwards, make sure I change that. So the way that the legend goes is these guys figured there's so much clearance under the base of the lawnmower, they could just pick it up. And, well, it never happened. And is that, it's used in discussing this foreseeable misuse. And that, no, who would be done? Well, I don't know, maybe.
Get in some parts of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So, can you think of a product that you know, we talked about this in the last class, what's going to be misused?
The biggest one right now is monkey balls, those magnetic balls. The toy that
Yeah.
serious. Kids like to put them in their mouth and use them as like tongue piercings and ear piercings.
Okay, all right. I don't know if I was in a jury whether I would say that's expected misuse, but they recalled them, so there's a reason for it. You have one?
Real question, so as you like saying something like a snow blower or
Yeah, snow blower being used to spread topsoil, so that, but I do want to emphasize, manufacturers need to think about this. A comment that I didn't tell you on that snow blower incident, one of the things that's built into some snow blowers is something called a shear pin. That when it, rather than let it break something, it has this pin in there that's made to break. And the guy said to me, I've only gone through 3 shear pins in doing this. Well, doesn't that tell you? Oh, and it was a beautiful snowblower. It was a Honda with the tractor treads on it. It was an expensive one, and but I will admit that topsoil really looked good the way it spread on his lawn. Okay, and other things. Warnings, effective warnings, more on strict liability, possibly. Dealing with ambiguity, it's an article in that chapter 5. Make sure you know about defective people in that article.
What?
What the author has to say about defective people. Dealing with ambiguity. Another one, environmental product liability. Consumer Product Safety Commission. And CPSC Reform Act. I don't know. Wasn't paying attention.
Consumer Product Safety Commission.
Consumer Product Safety Commission, more on Torts 101. Article, what is an unavoidably unsafe product? So, what are you going to bring for this? You can bring that yellow book. You can bring your notes. I don't think you're going to get any help from the blue book on it, but there'd be what you can bring. If you print out articles from D2L, that's totally up to you. But I wouldn't spend kill a lot of trees on that one. You really should study it, take some notes, but that's up to you if you want to do that. All right, that'll be Thursday. Other questions? All right, in the last class, we talked about a lot of, I think, interesting topics in product safety.